Let's talk about Jalen Hurts. I already made a video right after the Super Bowl. In fact, only a few minutes after the Super Bowl, I uploaded my video on how I thought he played. I said he was amazing in that video, and I agree, he was amazing. But I want to make another video kind of now that we have the all-22 footage and we've had some time to digest it. I think it really puts into perspective the performance he had, and this really was an all-time Super Bowl performance. Just unfortunate it ended up in a loss. So let's start off with this play. This is one of my favorite plays that he had, and kind of just goes to show the value of Jalen Hurts is the fact that, kind of one of the things I talk about a lot on this channel is there's two ways a quarterback can add value. There's the traditional way. How well do they run the offense? When the offense schemes guys open, do they hit those guys? That kind of stuff. But there's the other way, which is something like this, where it's going to be a play action, and you have Devonta Smith just trying to get into a gap in coverage. Hopefully you get linebackers out of position. That's the idea. However, right when this play begins, Hurts is going to run a play action, and there's not really a clear window. Kansas State linebackers doing what they do, which is putting themselves in position to not give up an easy throw over the middle. This is part of why the Chiefs were able to win the Super Bowl, is because they were able, the linebackers were able to do this well. But the issue is you're going up against Jalen Hurts, who finds ways to give himself a better throwing angle. The angle right now is not good. So what do? Well, watch how Hurts is going to use his mobility to kind of draw Willie Gay in. That was the linebacker who was in front. Smith makes the grab and then does good work after the catch and picking up more yards. Just a really good job by Jalen Hurts to just bide a little bit more time, get the better angle, and more importantly, not just make the throw right away. Like, how often, listen, fans of teams that don't have great quarterbacks, how often do you see your favorite quarterback just make one of those throws anyway and have it be intercepted? As someone who watched Jameis Winston for 5 years, the answer would be every time he got the opportunity. Jalen Hurts has been so good all year at avoiding those turnovers and does a great job here of, in a play that could have gone wrong, instead goes very right. And speaking of plays that could have gone wrong but instead go very right, this one, which I don't know why he even made this throw, to be honest. So when I was watching this live, I thought this is a cover 1 play. It's not. It's a cover 2 play. There are 2 safeties deep on this one. Again, broadcast footage, you can't see the safeties, so it's sometimes hard to tell. But you see A.J. Brown's route on this one, it's really not going to be a great route. I mean, the corner is going to end up staying with him, so it's essentially going to be double coverage with a safety deep. Like, that's not really one that you often even look towards. Jalen Hurts takes the snap, and on top of this, he kind of moves a little bit, just a step or two towards the bottom of the screen. But there is potentially a window, right? Because while there are 2 Kansas City players in the area, what they don't have going for them is they're not currently at a full speed going towards the corner of the end zone. McDuffie is a little bit, he's the corner on this play, but not in a great spot. So both of these corners are going to have to do 2 things. One, they're going to have to turn their shoulder and then try to keep up with A.J. Brown. Easier said than done. But 2, they're going to have to play A.J. Brown instead of play the ball. And that's where the value comes in. And I think that's why Hurts makes this throw. And also, just watch this ball by Hurts. I mean, this is 50 yards down the field with perfect accuracy. McDuffie maybe could have played it a little better, but honestly, on the all-22, you kind of see why he didn't. He was playing A.J. Brown, and just, by the time he finally, he couldn't see where the ball was. By the time he finally saw the ball, it was a little too late. And he even ran into A.J. Brown a little bit, I thought, although nothing to warrant a flag, but that just made it harder for him to make the play. I said this in that original video, and I'm saying it again now. It reminded me of that Alshon Jeffrey Super Bowl catch against the Patriots, right? That was the thing that it felt most reminiscent of. It's a little bit different, but still, just a great play by Brown, but really just an amazing throw by Hurts. Although I have to say, this was the one that I look at as a negative. The fumble was obviously not great. Everyone knows that fumble wasn't great. There's not much to break down there. Hey, don't drop the football, but what are you going to do? Sometimes it slips out of your hands. It happens to everybody. Just you hope it doesn't happen in the Super Bowl. This was one where I think it's fair to put some blame on him, but I also kind of understand, again, now seeing the all-22, why he made this throw, even though he probably shouldn't have, is this was a design play to get A.J. Brown the football. It's funny because when I first watched it, I thought this play and the last play were very similar plays. On the rewatch with the all-22, you can see that they're actually very different. You see how A.J. Brown, one difference is that he's lined up on the offense's right here instead of on the offense's left like he was last time, and he's going to kind of fake as though he's going towards the offense's right, but then get to the left. That's the way it works. And to help sell this fake, Hurts is going to be in motion towards the bottom of the screen. So they're hoping they can really fool Kansas City. Right when this play begins, while it's a different setup, it ends up being a somewhat similar situation. You see right here that there is kind of, again, a similar spot of two Kansas City players, but the biggest difference here is that last time the safety was basically only a step or two ahead of A.J. Brown. Now he's a solid 8-9 yards ahead of A.J. Brown, which means he can play the ball, whereas last time he couldn't, and because of that, Jalen Hurts should not have made this throw. Jalen Hurts should have looked elsewhere, and there were players open elsewhere. There's actually someone wide open over the NFL logo right now. Again, you can't see the whole field at once. I don't blame you, but there were a couple guys actually that were open on this play. In fact, every eligible receiver other than A.J. Brown is open on this play. So this is one that he shouldn't have made this throw. It is what it is. Hurts is going to make this throw anyways, and it was actually still a great throw. Like, if you're going to make that throw, that's where you put it. Could have been intercepted, but it wasn't because it was a good throw, but a poor decision, and really his only poor decision of the game. I thought that he was pretty much perfect outside of that. I'm not going to crush him for one bad play. Made a bad play. If you play a bunch of snaps in the Super Bowl, you're going to make a bad play as well. Like, I thought that final drive, which was unfortunate, this was basically his final drive of the game, because, the Chiefs would then march down the field and kick the field goal with 8 seconds left, so they got an 8-second drive. But really, this was the last drive of the game. But, this play is another one where, at first, you think about it as just a defensive blunder. I see this as a defensive blunder, but also a great play from Hurts. It's going to be a zone coverage play, and you see the way that this concept works. You have two receivers lined up to the offense's left, and you see the routes that they are running. But, really, it's actually not Devonta Smith's route that you expect to get open on this play. He's the one who's going to outside the numbers. You kind of expect the route over the middle to get open. This is Zach Pascal, who, not exactly the guy that you're paying a ton of attention to typically. Usually you don't lose Devonta Smith because you're paying too much attention to Zach Pascal. But hey, sometimes that's the way football works. Because watch how when this play begins. You're going to see that Pascal gets wide open here. And so the corner who's covering Smith is noticing that. He realizes, wait a second, we have something to worry about. If Hurts throws it right there, that's an easy completion, but you still have to make sure someone's covering your guy. I can see why he thinks this way, why he says, let me get over there, but Hurts somehow notices this, and that's the greatness of Jalen Hurts in this game. He's into throwing motion now, and to be honest, it's possible he was just giving up a free 15-yard play to take a shot downfield. I kind of think that might be what he was doing, just seeing if he could put one down the field and get Smith the ball. As you see, he ends up throwing it, and Smith does get wide open on this play. Can't quite get into the end zone for a touchdown, but they got a touchdown on the very next play with that quarterback sneak that is so dominant. And this is just what Hurts was able to do all game. And he saw the field so well. These are little things where you don't expect a quarterback to make that throw. You really don't. Not again, Smith got wide open, but you don't expect him to legitimately make the throw. You expect him to throw it somewhere else on that play, and that's where I think he did a really good job. And finally, one of my favorite plays, I wanted to talk about his running game a little bit because that obviously is a big factor with Hurts. His passing game was the biggest factor in this one, but his running game definitely came through. No better example than this play where it's actually going to be Trent McDuffie who's going to make a really good play here. Watch how he's going to get by Zach Pascal, who's blocking him, and he's going to get right in position. I paused it right here to where this angle really just makes it, shows how impressive it is that Hurts somehow gets a touchdown here. I don't know how he does this. You have 4 Kansas City players who are about to tackle him, and he's currently standing at the 3-yard line. Like, there's no reason he should be able to get in. But watch just that strength. Watch how strong his legs are to power him through, and he does get in to tie that game. That's an incredible, that's a superstar level play. And he, again, is Jalen Hurts a superstar? No, he has not been a superstar long enough to call him a superstar. He's had one of these seasons. That's too small of a sample size. We've seen it happen too often where a player has a season like this, but then goes back and only plays okay from there on out, or like good from there on out, but not at this level. But was he a superstar in 2022? Absolutely. And, it's a shame he didn't end up with a Super Bowl. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.